Happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome to the St. Canard Files, a Darkwing podcast. I'm your host, Will Santana. And today I'm with who?
Here with Stan Lund again.
Hey, what's going on, Stan? How's it going, man?
Not too much. How have you been?
I've been pretty good. I'm broke right now. All these cons and stuff I've been going to. Recently went to, it was two cons in the one. It was My Hero Con and Alabama Comic Con. And they were in Birmingham, Alabama. I know you're a huge fan of My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah, I just finished the last episode of season 5.
I don't know if it's the last, but I finished where Funimation left off.
That's the last one, probably the episode 25 of the season.
Oh, it was episode 25. Dang, I don't think is it that long.
Yeah,
the last thing I remember I saw was some dude, Destro, got defeated, and then it went back to the kids or something.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm caught up.
Yes, you are.
All right. Well, I went to that con mainly for My Hero Academia. I got 10 autographs there. There was like 12 cast members, but 2 of them did have Funko Pop, so I didn't bother to get their autograph.
Which two, out of curiosity?
It was one character who was on the top 10. I can't remember her name, and then the other one is the girl with the earbuds.
Yeah, Jiro.
Yeah,
she'll have one eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. She was there as well, but she didn't have a pop, so I didn't get her autograph. Well, there was one I did get an autograph of that she doesn't have a pop, and that's the invisible one.
Yeah, but you got a figure signed.
Yeah, I had a figure of her signed. And then on the Alabama Comic Con side, it was they had like 4 Ninja Turtle guests, 2 or 3 wrestlers. Sting was the big one. They had a couple of Power Rangers, a couple Walking Dead people. Sting, I would say by far had the longest line. His line was crazy long.
Yeah.
One, because of who he is. 2, he was only there for one day, and he was only there for a few hours. So if you didn't get in that line, you missed your opportunity. You had to get him. Where other people, you could come back the next day or come back later after their lunch break or so. But Sting was only there for like 4 hours. So you had to get in that line to get his. Like, they even capped his line before he even showed up, and his line was crazy, man.
Well, yeah. I hope everyone that really wanted him that day got him.
Yeah, I spent a lot of money, but I think it was well worth it. Deku was the one I was struggling with. The voice actor Deku, Justin Briner. Yeah, his was the one I was struggling with because I just could not find a Deku pop anywhere. But one vendor had them there overpriced. All the Dekus and anybody who was there at the con, their Funko Pop, he had them way overpriced. But my buddy Joe said he will buy 2 of them if I can go to that vendor and ask him, hey, will you take a little bit off if I bundle them up a little bit, So that's what we ended up doing. So I got my Deku sign.
Nice.
All right, but Stan, this comic episode is dropping before Halloween. Do you have any Halloween traditions and stuff that you like to watch, or read or anything?
I got a couple Halloween traditions. Every October I like to read some Stephen King books I haven't read, which isn't a lot, but mostly ones from the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. I always like to have myself some Reese's on Halloween and a big bowl of Count Chocula. In terms of watching stuff, like I watched some real Ghostbusters, Stephen King's Christine, Phantasm, the original one, and the original 2 Ghostbusters. So this year I'm not going to watch the 2 Ghostbusters because I'm saving them for the month after.
No Ghostbusters? Because you're saving it because of that movie, huh?
Right. I want to watch those 2 the day that movie comes out, so I can watch those and then go right to the theater and see the 3rd.
Now, Stan, what has been leaked with that movie?
I don't know. I've been avoiding the leaks.
Oh, you've been avoiding the leaks, huh?
Oh yeah, I do not want that movie spoiled. I've been waiting for it for literal years now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so how come you really don't want nothing, not even an ounce of it?
I mean, I've seen what's in the 2 the first two trailers. The third trailer that's either out or coming out, I've heard there is a spoiler, so I'm avoiding that one like the plague.
Okay. Yeah, man. For me, I really don't have anything particular. I like Beetlejuice, but I don't watch it every year. What's the Peanuts one? The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown or
Yep.
something. I kind of watched that one, but it's not a yearly tradition one.
Well, about Morgan
Um,
and Macabre episodes of Darkwing.
no, I don't have a tradition on that either. With horror films, I'm not a big Friday the 13th guy. I'm not a big Halloween guy, Michael Myers. I like Freddy. Freddy's probably my favorite of those type of guys. But I don't watch him every year. It's kind of like I rotate. Like Halloween just does not kind of stick out to me as something major, but I do get a little bit into it. You know, but there's really nothing major. From the Disney afternoon, do you have like a favorite Halloween episode or like from a favorite one you kind of like to watch?
In terms of Disney afternoon, there's really two that stand out to me.
Hmm.
One is The Old Man and the Sea Duck, where Baloo ends up getting trapped and has the ghost help him to fly out.
Okay.
And then in terms of Darkwing, I think Dead Duck is my other big go-to when it comes to, somewhat scary, off-putting supernatural episodes.
The Duck. What is your favorite Darkwing Halloween episode? Would you stick with Dead Duck?
I
There were
think I would.
okay. There was only two that were released on Halloween: Hot Spells and what's the one with the little guy in the dream world?
Oh, Ghoul of My Dreams.
Ghoul of My Dreams. Well, if you had to pick one of those two, which one would you go with?
Of those two, I'd go with Ghoul of My Dreams only because I've really only seen Hot Spells maybe once,
Mm,
twice maybe if I actually saw it when it aired back in the 90s. So I haven't seen that one enough to really, be able to gain an appreciation for it.
okay. I'm gonna go with more with Hot Spells. I like Hot Spells better than Ghoul of My Dreams, even though I do like Ghoul of My Dreams. Um, Not off. That was his name. Not off.
Yeah. Of course, Ghoul of My Dreams has one up on Hot Spells, being the Darkwing episode included on the Halloween Disney afternoon tapes.
That's true. That is true. Where Hot Spells is kind of like the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you dressing up this year for Halloween?
No,
No,
not this year.
you're not gonna do no cosplay or dress up like a Ghostbuster and give out no candy or anything.
No, well, not give out candy. Maybe I'll throw something on and do a video for my YouTube channel.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't think I'm gonna do anything for Halloween. Nothing special at all. I was gonna go to a con, but then I kind of decided not to. So I'm just gonna skip that con. I don't have any cons planned until December. I'm gonna go to one called MumbleCon Winterfest,
Yeah.
and Billy West will be there. I gotta get his autograph on
Well,
several things.
if you miss him there, I heard he's going to Huntsville for next year.
He's backed out of Huntsville twice, man, already 2 years in a row. So I'm not gonna count on it until I actually see him there.
Rob Paulson's supposed to be there again too.
Rob Paulson canceled once, so I'm gonna hold Rob Paulson to it. I hope he's there again. So
I
that'll be
hope
kind of
so
cool.
too.
And then we got Pensacon. Pensacon's lighting up with My Hero Academia voice actors again. So I'm kind of getting excited about that. But let's go. Let's move on. Stan, what we got going on today? What are we reading today?
We are going to review a comic that was in Disney Adventures magazine. We are tackling What's the Problem?
What's the problem? That one was actually referred to me from someone in our YouTube channel. I didn't get a chance. I haven't had a chance to look him up, so I may credit him in the description. But he referred this one to me, and I'm actually glad he really did because I really, really enjoy it. So a spoiler right there already. Yeah. So, do you know what issues this one was on? I didn't write it down by any chance.
This was in the June 93 and July 93. It was a two-parter.
Two-parter, and one of them had Michael Jackson on the cover, right?
That I don't know. I didn't look up the covers.
Okay, yeah,
Sorry.
I know Michael Jackson was on one, and I believe I can't remember who was on the other cover. I believe it was Pinocchio or something.
Needless to say, folks, neither me nor Will actually own those two issues in our collection.
I think I own one of them. I can't find the Michael Jackson one. Ain't that the one you said you think I had?
I don't remember. We've
Yeah,
got so many of them.
I got so many and I got so doubles, but when I was going through it, I couldn't find it. It's too much for me right now with Disney Adventures. I got so many doubles and triples and then so many different versions of them. So, but we happen to read them online. So, Stan, who's our writer for this comic?
Our writer for this comic was Bobby J.G. Weiss.
And she was part of the team that wrote for the Legend of the Chaos God, correct?
Yep.
With David Weiss.
Yep. She's actually written a lot of pretty big Disney adventure stories. You know, she wrote The Chaos God.
Mhm.
She wrote Old Man and the Sea Duck and Plunder and Lightning for Tailspin. She wrote Vogue's Gallery, which is my favorite of the Darkwing ones. She wrote this, which is quite possibly one of the best Disney Adventures Darkwing stories I've read. Spoiler.
So you just said Vogue Gallery is your favorite of the Darkwings.
Yeah.
Is it your favorite Darkwing comic?
Of the Disney Adventures era, yes.
Really?
I mean, obviously, everything, pretty much everything Boom and Joe Books have done surpass those, but
oh, of course.
In terms of old school, I think it is my favorite.
Over this one, the one we're reading today.
Yeah.
Really?
Keep in mind, it's been a little bit since I've read that one, so I'll have to reread it to be sure.
Okay, I know we're not turning this one into a Vogue Galleries review.
No.
I don't know. I guess for me, it's just too short to put like my favorite. It's way too short, you know, but I do see why you enjoy it so much. I'm not going to knock you on that. I definitely get why you enjoy it so much, but I can't put it on my top though. You know, but okay. Well, enough about Vogue's Gallery. We're not doing that one. Who's our illustrator, Stan?
Our artist is Consume Cordery again. You also may remember him from Chaos God. So the Darkwing Dream Team reunites.
And I think they did a good job on this one. I really like them. They do pretty good teamwork. He also illustrated Let's Get Fiscal.
Yeah, that was his first story. And it's one of those things where he has no control over the story.
Yeah, he had no control of the story, but he did a good job with the drawings, though. Really good job. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this one, Stan. What's the problem? Now, I noticed like each part had a separate name.
Yep.
Yeah. So part one was also called All Plugged In and Nowhere to Flow.
Yep.
All right. So Stan, introduce us. We got a new character right off the bat, man.
Yeah. We have Mondo B Assetz.
Mondo B Assetz. To me, it was kind of like a Money B Assetz type flow here, you know, like parody. No, you didn't get that? You got that too?
No, I just thought, you know, assets meaning assets, you know, Mondo B being 90s slang term.
Okay. All right. Well, we got Mondo and he has Megavolt in his office and he's trying to make a deal with him.
Oh yeah, he says he can make Megavolt more powerful.
Man, how much more powerful can Megavolt already get? He's already a powerful villain, man.
Oh yeah, but remember, he does have to recharge, and it sounds like this would fix that problem.
But Mondo does tell him there's a catch to it on why he wants to overpower him, that he wants to take over F.O.W.L.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you know, Megavolt's like drooling over this. He's excited about the whole idea, and then you know, Mondo tells him like we can make this happen like right now, immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden though, it doesn't go Megavolt's way.
Nope, because two of Mondo's goons come in and wrap Megavolt up, put a sponge over his electrical prongs, you know.
Yeah, and they tie him up, and then we get a transition. We see Shush.
Yep.
And Jay Gander. Yeah, we got Jay Gander, and what's Jay Gander doing?
So he's waiting for Darkwing and Launchpad to arrive.
Yeah, he's trying to recruit them. And I thought we got a little foreshadowing here. I didn't see it at first, but we see LP coming in with the bubble gum.
Oh yes, the bubble gum starts here and it doesn't stop until when it comes back later.
Yeah, so just a heads up, if you haven't read this, sorry, that's kind of a bit of a spoiler, but
I don't know if
you
it's much of a spoiler yet, considering that
yeah, it's
we're
way too
not
early.
telling you, and we're not telling them what the gum's used for.
Yeah, we're not getting there yet. But Darkwing's being recruited, but then there's somebody standing next to Darkwing. Who is that?
It's Steelbeak.
Yeah, and Darkwing is really shocked. He's not he's really confused. He's ready to go in attack mode, and then
Oh yeah.
and then Steelbeak starts explaining the whole get up with Megavolt and Mondo.
Well, before we get to that though, there was an entrance.
Yeah, there sure was. Do you want to read it?
So I do, but before I do, I want to say it's not the most original entrance.
No.
You know exactly where I'm going with this, don't you?
Oh yeah.
But
Go
the
for it.
entrance is I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the fingernail that scrapes across the blackboard of injustice. I am Darkwing.
Launchpad?
Yeah.
Cause that's when
But
Launchpad popped the bubble gum.
but we've heard an entrance very similar to this before, haven't we, Will?
Yeah, where did we hear this from?
We've heard this from Negaduck.
Yep.
Yep. Negaduck's entrance in Going Nowhere Fast was I am the screeching fingernail on the chalkboard of justice.
Yep. Yeah, so then Darkwing's in attack mode, but Steelbeak starts explaining what's going on, and Jay Gander's actually defending Steelbeak, but Darkwing is pretty much got like one eye open on Steelbeak. Like, I got my eye on you. I don't trust you.
Yeah, which is precisely Jay Ganderhooter's plan.
Yeah, but what is Steelbeak informing Darkwing of what's Mondo's plan and Megavolt, the whole what's going on?
He tells him that they're planning to overthrow F.O.W.L and take over the world.
Yep, over the world, that basically Megavolt's power will turn him into a generator, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like he won't need power anymore. He will be the power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then they go on the hunt. They go looking for Mondo at his lab, right?
Well, they go to Mondo's hideout, which Steelbeak conveniently found last week.
Yeah. And we see some Eggman, the big ones.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying, Stan. A little bit kind of messing up the flow here, but that's what I was really liking about this comic. Like, we had Mondo, Megavolt, Shush, Darkwing, Steelbeak, the Eggman, and it keeps going. These cameos, it keeps going. Like, I was getting caught off guard on this. Like, whoa, man, where's this episode going? F.O.W.L and Shush, it was all over the place. Okay, but anyway, when they get into Mondo's lab, his hideout, we see Megavolt's tied up.
Yeah.
And Darkwing is kind of ready to rescue him, and LP, but Steelbeak has other plans, right?
Oh yeah.
And we knew this was gonna happen, right?
Yeah. Classic Steelbeak fashion.
Yeah, the whole setup. We see Mondo's tied up, and the Eggman, they surround Darkwing. They come in, they got their guns on him, and Steelbeak reveals everything.
Yep. But one guy ain't having it.
Yeah, Darkwing said he knew it all along.
Yeah, but one guy's very upset about being double crossed by everyone.
Who's that, Stan?
Megavolt.
Yep, Megavolt. He is kind of getting double crossed by everybody over here.
Yeah, he's been double crossed by Mondo. He's being double crossed by Steelbeak.
Mm-hmm. And there's one person left, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get to that. Yeah, so we got Steelbeak, and he's pretty much saying he's gonna take over the world. And the Eggman, they kind of like get really excited, but Megavolt kind of challenges Steelbeak here.
Oh yeah. And Steelbeak tells him, of course, that he won't need to worry about not wanting to work with him because once his brain is turned to mush through the conversion process, he won't remember his own name, which
Yeah.
brings me to one of my favorite lines.
Okay, what's that?
Megavolt tells him, I don't need your help forgetting my name. I can do that myself.
Yeah, but how does Steelbeak defeat Megavolt, man?
He soaks him with a flash flood water pistol.
This is like a little basic water gun, man.
It worked, so
It definitely worked. I think as an adult, you're like, oh, come on, man. That's how you're gonna defeat Megavolt. But as a kid, it really works because it's kind of funny, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, the kid in me that does enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the Eggman, they take Megavolt and they tie him up and they put him in like they kind of didn't tie him up, they strapped them up. They
Into sort of an electric chair looking thing.
yeah, it looks like an electrical chair, like he's about to like he just did what they call it, dead man walking type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they did that, and then Steelbeak got the shade, Darkwing and LP, they're kind of like handcuffed sort of to like a pole or something with it.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
connected to the chair. That way, basically, Steelbeak plans while converting Megavolt, he intends to fry Darkwing and LP.
yeah. But then Darkwing has an idea.
Yep.
And what's
It's
his
the
idea?
gum.
It's the bubble gum. Now, this is the one thing I had a problem with, Stan. I don't know if it bothered you, but it definitely bothered me. Uh, LP reveals the bubble gum is in his shirt pocket. And throughout the whole comic, we don't see this shirt pocket. But when he requests it, you clearly can see the shirt pocket.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, it's something that really kind of bothered me as I was reading. As many times I've seen Ducktales and Darkwing, I ain't never noticed no shirt pocket, you know? Well, yeah, so that's where the bubble gum comes from, and they both start chewing it up.
Yep.
Yeah, and while they chewing it up, they spit it to the ground and they put their feet to it.
Yep. That they do.
Yeah, and then one of the Eggmen turns on the switch and we see Megavolt, he's getting shocked. Like even the illustration, like the color of his body and everything changes color. Like he's getting shocked. So
Yeah.
but what was the purpose of the bubble gum?
The bubble gum is to insulate them against the electricity, though I'm not entirely sure that it would work the way they intended it, just because they're strapped to the metal pole. You
Mhm.
know, there's no bubble gum protecting their backs and arms against the electricity.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if bubblegum will work. I've heard tires and rubber does work. You know,
Yeah.
I've heard that theory before. I would never try to test it.
No, and I don't think gum would work either because unless it's dried, like
Mhm.
if it's wet gum, water conducts electricity.
Yeah, but then we see Megavolt just shooting up. Man, he goes sky high.
Yeah.
But
Now, did you?
go ahead.
I was going to ask, did you notice the one little mistake in the panel where he shoots up?
No. Well, oh,
If
the
you look
gloves.
at Nope, you look at Darkwing and LP's feet, there is no gum around them.
Ah, okay. I did not catch that. But Megavolt, he doesn't say this, Stan, but it's kind of like he's like yippee, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, he is overcharged.
Yeah, he's definitely overcharged. He can feel the power, and but then the fire starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're scrambling, they're getting out of there.
Yeah, and of course Darkwing's like, Steelbeak, you can't just leave me here. And it's like, yeah, he can.
Yeah, but then Darkwing's ego kind of gets the best of him when he gets free from those shackles or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, his
Yeah,
ego.
he thinks that he's got all the strength to do it. And it's like, no, the bolts were just worked loose by all the shaking.
Yeah, but that's what LP breaks the bad news. But they're still stuck to the gum and they're trying to scram and get out of there.
Yep.
Yeah, but they finally break loose through the gum. And then they head into St. Canard and they're on the rat catcher. And we see Megavolt. He's in the middle of the streets in St. Canard.
Yep. And he's missing one thing he normally has, but he doesn't really need it.
He doesn't need it. That battery pack is missing, but he
Yep.
is the power. And I kind of like, tell me if I'm wrong here, Stan. he's like in the middle of the street and he's requesting more power, and it's like all the buildings that are close to him, he's like absorbing their power, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't quite sure, but it's like he's absorbing their power, and like he's got this. If you can see the drawings, it's like it's got this border of like electrical power around him.
An aura, if you will.
Yeah, like an aura, like a force field or something, you know? All right. Well, Darkwing tells them they got him surrounded, but who's he surrounded by?
Ah,
He's not surrounded by anybody.
yeah.
He
I was
just
gonna say.
yeah, he tells them that we got you surrounded, and like LP is like, I don't think he's surrounded by anybody, just us. And then but Megavolt's Darkwing pulls out the gas gun at him, but
Yep.
it's ineffective because Megavolt just zaps it right away like it's
Yeah.
nothing. When that
Exactly.
happens, when that happens, Darkwing and LP, they jump on the rat catcher, they're out of there. He's too powerful for them right now.
Yeah, but I have to ask, did
Go
the
ahead.
line that happened here, did it come off as being super dark to you, Megavolt talking about how he can pull the electricity out of Darkwing's body to stop his heart?
It was very dark. I did catch
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it was really dark.
You know, that
Um,
that kind of took me out of the moment for a bit. It's like that that's way too dark. They'd never have gotten away with that in the cartoon.
no, but you know what? Um, if you notice, like in the early episodes of the cartoons and in the comics, we see a lot of guns, especially like with police
True.
officers. And you see that with the Eggman on this episode when they surrounded Darkwing earlier, they had all these guns out and stuff on them. They wouldn't get away with that stuff today, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
okay with it. I get what you're saying, though. I definitely get what you're saying.
yeah.
Okay. Well, while they're trying to not scam, but trying to scram away on the rat catcher, Megavolt zaps one of the tires.
Oh, he effectively drains the rat catcher of its power.
Okay. And when he drains them or drains the rat catcher, they run into somebody.
Yep, they run into everyone's favorite Boy Scout, Gizmo Duck.
Yep. And so Gizmo's there, and Darkwing's not happy, of course. He's never happy when Gizmo Duck's there. But
No.
who told Gizmo Duck to show up?
Jay Gander Hooter.
Yeah, Jay Gander told him to show up, and then Megavolt and Gizmo Duck get ready to have a one-on-one duel.
Even though Darkwing tries to warn Giz not to get involved this time.
Yeah, he knows how powerful Megavolt is.
Yeah.
Yep, and then
Unfortunately, Gizmo Duck should have heeded that warning.
yeah, yeah, but so Megavolt zaps Gizmo Duck, and Gizmo Duck is like, I like the photo of him because it's like he's all bent up and he looks burnt up. He got like smoke coming out of his head.
Yeah. Uttering that single line, help.
Yeah, so he's done, and that's the
And
end of
thus,
part one.
yep.
All right, so when we start off part two, did you actually read the previously thing?
I did.
I kind of just scanned through it because it was like kind of just saying it's kind of like when you watch a new series and like the next when you get to the next episode on the next week and it says previously on, you know.
Yeah.
I always hate those, man. I can't stand that.
Well, Darkwing did have episodes though that
Mhm.
had that.
I get it when they do it on like syndicated TV, like when you're watching, like, I don't know, think of any show, Lost, right? You're watching Lost and everything, and then you have to wait till the next week to watch the next episode. I kind of get it when they go previously because it's been a whole week, kind
Yeah.
of get it like a refresher. But I hate it when Stan, when they put it on the DVDs, the Blu-rays, or like the digital version, because most people are binge watching it, or when you're watching it on Netflix, you know.
Yeah, but I think if they left it off, then there'd also be people complaining, well, it's not the way I watched it when I was a kid.
I can see that people would complain about that. At least Netflix gives you the option to skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix gives you the option to skip it, and then like when you start binge watching it after like 2 or 3 episodes, it doesn't even show up no more. It automatically skips it for me. I do love that about Netflix. All right, enough about that. All right, so we now on to part 2 of What's the Problem, and this part had a different name. I think it was called Om Sweet Om.
Yep. Now, Will, do you know what ohm means?
Was it supposed to be home?
Nope.
No.
Ohm
What's it mean?
is a term for electrical resistance.
Ah,
It's the
see, I didn't know.
first but not last of the many bad electrical puns in this issue.
Okay. All right. Well, one last thing, Stan, before we start part two. Were you really enjoying part one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was so into part one. I was like, oh man, now we gotta go to part two. Like it was getting really good. All right. So part two, start us off, Stan. How does part two start off?
So Megavolt is overloading from draining Gizmo Duck, though
Mhm.
it probably also didn't help him that he drained half the city as well.
Yeah, so he's overloading, and then Steelbeak and Eggman show up.
Yep. Very surprised to see Darkwing and LP alive.
Yeah, he's very surprised. But Mike always mentions this in our episode reviews. It's kind of Steelbeak's fault. He left before seeing the hero, get vanquished.
Well, to be fair, it
He was
was
on
a burning
fire.
building,
Yeah.
and staying there would have put him at risk of perishing.
Mhm. Yeah, but then it's like kind of Darkwing and Steelbeak kind of start playing the blame game about who rigged the machine and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Megavolt, something's happening to Megavolt. Like he's just overloading and he just, I don't know, goes into shock and everybody's like freaking out. And the Eggman, they kind of get zapped or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then LP has, go ahead.
I was going to say, while this is going on, though, LP is hooking Gizmo Duck up to Steelbeak's car to recharge him.
Yeah, it's like he's using jumper cables. Yeah, so he hooks him up to a vehicle to start him up. But then something happens to Megavolt.
He appears to disintegrate.
Yeah, he disintegrates and didn't he go into like the electrical wires or the power lines
Yep,
or something?
he sure did.
Yeah, and then Gizmo Duck, he's recharged, he's back. But the only thing was when he came back, did you notice his colors were a little different?
That I did not notice.
Yeah, his colors were a little different. Like his one wheel turned blue, and then his gloves were blue too for his hands. Yeah, instead of being black. I don't know why they went blue, or I don't know if it was due with the lighting of him being recharged or something. I don't know. But then Megavolt's now in the power lines, and he's kind of like going around. He's going through, and Steelbeak takes off, and Gizmo Duck is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go after Steelbeak." But Darkwing doesn't like that at first, but then Gizmo Duck kind of convinces him, well, hey, we got two villains here. You chase one, I'll chase the other. And Darkwing agrees. So Darkwing's like, we think he's heading toward the mall. And yeah. So Gizmo Duck, oh, go ahead.
Now, thing about the mall, that's another little in joke. The Muscovy Mall, Muscovy's a type of duck.
Ah, good find, Stan. Good find, man. So we get a transition, and we got Steelbeak. And who's Steelbeak with?
He's with Mondo B Assetz.
Yep, he's with Mondo, and then the Eggman, they kind of bring somebody, a new character in.
Yep, Professor Pinjab.
Did you notice though that the first scene where Professor Pinjab? Did you notice Steelbeak was in the background?
No.
I mean, not Steelbeak. I'm sorry, Gizmo Duck.
Oh yes, I did see Gizmo Duck. He's watching through the window.
Yeah, he was watching through the window. I thought that was really cool. I didn't catch it right away, but when I was reading it, I was trying to absorb the panel because I'd never seen Pinjab before, so I'm trying to like just get a glance of him, who he is, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even see Gizmo Duck back there. But you kind of tell on the next one though, because they clearly show him like peeking through the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So what's going on with Pinjab? Who is he?
So he's the one that created the machine, and he's also the one that rigged it to not work.
So he double crossed Mondo.
Yep.
And that double cross also affected Steelbeak.
Yep. He did it because he was only going to get $100 grand from doing all this.
Yeah, he definitely deserved more and wanted more for the whole plan. But Steelbeak tells him, "Hey, I got a better deal."
Yeah. You fix the machine, or you don't, or I make a pair of cement undies for you.
Oh man. So Pinjab basically has no choice. He's gonna get dealt with by Steelbeak if he doesn't follow in. And then
Yep.
yeah, so then we got Gizmo Duck and he comes busting in through the window.
But of course, Steelbeak is not amused by this.
Nah,
Geez, if it's not Darkwing Dodo, it's Twinkie the Tin Man.
you know, I gotta give it to the writers. I do love a lot of Steelbeak's dialogue.
Oh, they nailed his dialogue.
They
Man.
definitely nailed it. So the whole time I'm reading, I got Raw Post's voice in the head with this dialogue. Like I'm like, man, it's perfect, man. They did
Yeah.
Steelbeak justice on here. They definitely did. Yeah. So Gizmo Duck comes in and he's pretty much handling all the Eggman. Like he's
Yep.
having no problem with them. But Steelbeak breaks loose with Pinjab. He escapes.
Yep.
So that leaves Gizmo Duck with Mondo, and surprisingly, Gizmo Duck frees Mondo.
Well, to take him to jail.
Yeah, but I thought he would have just. I know he said he was going to take him to jail, but I kind of thought he would just keep him tied up. You know, but he
Wasn't
did.
he like tied directly to the chair though?
Yeah, he was tied directly to the chair, but then he kind of like ties him with his wrist afterwards, so he ties him back up. Yeah. So, but the thing is, though, Gizmo Duck reveals where Darkwing is and where they're going,
Yep.
what's their plan. He reveals
And of
it to
course,
Mondo. Mm-hmm.
Yep. But inadvertently, he also reveals it to Steelbeak and Pinjab.
Yeah, they're like behind a wall. They hear everything. And Steelbeak says that. I love when good guys like reveal their stories, you know, to the bad guys.
Yeah.
And it's usually the other way around, but he got a point there though. So Stan, where are we at now? We get another transition.
We're now at the Muscovy Mall.
Yeah, we're at the mall and Darkwing and LP, they're running around. Well, they're not really running around, but they're looking around. Well, running around is the figure. It's an expression, you know. They're running around the mall, trying to find Megavolt, but it's kind of funny. They don't see him, but as a viewer or reader, we see Megavolt.
Oh yeah.
He's everywhere. He's on the signs. He's in the windows. He's on all the TVs and monitors. He's everywhere, and he's like towing with Darkwing because Darkwing can't find him.
But LP spots him.
Yeah, LP spots him on one of the TVs, actually multiple TVs.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they go into one of the stores. I am assuming it's an electronics store because they had so many TVs and like you can see a boombox in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Megavolt's in the TV, and what's going on, Stan?
So he's on all the sets, but Darkwing fairly quickly defeats him.
Yeah, he just unplugs him.
Yep.
He unplugs him.
It does make sense. He can't really, since he's living energy now, he can't really escape if there's no outlet to go through.
Yeah, and then Gizmo Duck shows up with all the St. Canard policemen.
Yep.
Yeah, they take the TV and they literally roll the TV out. Yeah, so then we're back at SHUSH. But wait, you know what? Before we do that, I think they purposely did that. There's like a little circle frame where they show like the bottom left corner of the TV where it says play, record, reverse.
Oh
forward.
yeah, they did that intentionally.
Yeah, they definitely did that intentionally. At first, I didn't kind of get it.
Yeah, because Steelbeak and Pinjab are seeing Megavolt's TV being captured.
Mm-hmm. So, but we'll get into that in probably in a few seconds or a minute or so. It's not going to be very long. So Darkwing's back at SHUSH, and he's upset.
Oh yeah,
he's upset because Megavolt has disappeared from the jail.
Yeah,
and they can't figure out how he got away. There's like no evidence. There's no clue. They don't know what's going on. And then this is where we get revealed why we got that frame. Stan, you want to get into it?
Because Pinjab dressed up as Megavolt's lawyer and went in and recorded Megavolt onto a VCR tape in Dolby sound.
So now what they're gonna do is they're gonna make copies of Megavolt, correct? Or they're gonna like kind of project him or something.
Well, first they intend to run him through a projector, but first they have to put him through a a signal stabilizer. That way
Okay.
he's not a power junkie anymore.
Okay. But then Steelbeak gets an idea because they have the hard copy of this Megavolt.
Right. So they can make as many copies of Megavolt as they want.
And he figures, hey, this is limitless power. Hey, we could take over St. Canard with all these Megavolts.
Yep.
hmm All right, so we finally see Drake for the first time.
Yeah. We're at the Mallard house.
Yeah, we're at the Mallard's house, and Drake finds out that there was a short circuit at the power plant, right?
Yep. But apparently Megavolt's also on a rampage frying City Hall.
Yeah, and he was also he's at the bank teller, a bank teller machine into giving
For
him
$1
$1 million.
million.
Yeah. So Drake is like, how can Megavolt be at all these places in short period of time? So he wants some answers. So it's time to get dangerous, Stan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's time to get dangerous. They go into the Darkwing suit and they get in the rat catcher and they go, I'm assuming is downtown St. Canard.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, and we see Megavolt literally everywhere.
Yeah. Now I noticed he does have his battery back. So I don't know if that's something that they programmed or because I
Yeah,
know when he was, when he was zapped into energy, he didn't have it on.
yeah. Yeah, so like Darkwing's kind of confused. He's like, where did all this come from? Where did all these megavolts, come from? Like, how did we get so many megavolts? And then Steelbeak shows up. I mean, not Steelbeak, Gizmo Duck shows up and he tells him, hey, we got it from all these megavolts came from Steelbeak and Professor Pinjab. Sorry guys for y'all listening. I just screwed that Gizmo Duck and Steelbeak up so many times right there.
Well, it could be worse. I mean, remember Disney Plus refers to Steelbeak as Beak Puss in one of the
That's
one of
right.
the descriptions.
Yeah, and Gizmo Duck reveals Jay Gander called him up, and Darkwing, he received a note from Steelbeak, right?
Yeah, Jay Gander received a note from Steelbeak that if they weren't handed control of the city over to them, that they would unleash the Megavolts all over St. Canard.
Yeah, but Darkwing can't figure out how we're gonna find out where Steelbeak is, but Gizmo Duck actually had a really good idea.
He came prepared this time.
Oh, he definitely came prepared. He's like, hey, let's ask one of these Megavolts. There's so many of them. We just need one. And
Yep.
What does he do to him?
I believe, doesn't he like shoot him with a hose or something?
He had a
Or
hose
throw
on
a
his
bucket of
back.
water?
Yeah, he had a hose on his back and it squirted water at him.
Yeah.
So this duplicate Megavolt reveals to them where Steelbeak and them are hiding out at.
Yep.
All right. Well, and inside of where they're at, we got Pinjab and we got Steelbeak. And I wasn't really quite sure right away what they were doing, but it seemed like they were trying to figure out how to control the duplicates because they were going out of control or something.
No, basically, they've figured out a way to control them. Megavolt just wants them to uphold, the end of the bargain, but they're not going to do that because they can have all the control over the other Megavolts.
That's right. That's what happened next. Megavolt, he was still in one of the TVs or like a computer or something.
TV.
Yeah, and he wants to get out. He wants to be freed. Yeah.
But they figured out the wavelength to control the doubles, so they don't need the original Megavolt anymore.
Yeah.
And Steelbeak says that he's thinking of getting himself a new TV set.
Yeah, that's so mean. Yeah. So then Steelbeak and Pinjab, they walk out of the room, and then Darkwing, Gizmo Duck, and LP, they kind of sneak up in there, and he calls him Sparky.
Yeah, he sure does.
Yep. And Megavolt's kind of shocked. He's like, Darkwing Duck, what are you? I think he wanted to say, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Darkwing's like, we're here to rescue you again.
Yeah. Of course, Megavolt doesn't really want any part of it because at this point, he's been double crossed 3 times.
Yeah. Darkwing tries to make that deal with him, but he really has no choice.
Yeah, especially not when Darkwing reminds him of Steelbeak's new TV set.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden in Insane Canard, we kind of see all the Megavolts, they're kind of fading.
Yep. And
What's
they're all leaving.
Yeah, what's going on?
Megavolt is drawing the power back to himself, which he didn't even know he could do.
Yeah, Darkwing told him he can do that. So then when we see these Megavolts walk into the hideout of where Steelbeak and them were, basically they're really even fading. They're like they're almost done.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Steelbeak shows back up and he is mad. He's really ticked off.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Steelbeak, Darkwing's faster.
Yep. And Megavolt finally leaves the TV.
Yep, Darkwing plugs in the TV so Megavolt can flow into the hologram projector and get his body back.
Yep. Megavolt's back. He's back.
Yep.
And Gizmo Duck starts fighting all the Eggmans. It kind of looked like Megavolt wanted Steelbeak, but Steelbeak is scared.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would be too if I double crossed Megavolt that many times.
Yeah. So Steelbeak, we didn't really see what happened to Steelbeak. It looked like he was so scared he just took off or something.
I thought they all got captured. Steelbeak, Pinjab.
Oh, you're right.
Eggman.
You're right. It was when Gizmo Duck had all those weapons out on them.
Yep.
LP actually had a weapon on Pinjab and Steelbeak. That's right.
Of course, Darkwing pulls one on Megavolt, though.
Yeah. So Megavolt was double crossed again.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, because Darkwing did say that he did give him his body back, but he never said he'd let him go free. So
yeah. So he got his body back.
I'm sure Steelbeak doesn't view it that way, though. I'm sure to Steelbeak, that's probably the fourth double cross.
All right. So Stan, how does this episode end? We'll take us back to with Jay Gander. How does this end?
This episode ends with lots of bad electrical puns at Jay Ganders. Way too many. Like
Yeah.
I'm prepared for the occasional bad pun. I don't expect 6 or 7 of them in one panel.
Okay. So overall, Stan, man, what did you think of this comic, man? Like, give it a score. How many gas gun canisters are you gonna give this one?
I would give this one a solid 4.
A solid 4? Okay.
I loved it. I mean, it really does read out like it's an episode. You can hear the character voices in your head. You can hear the music. You know, it's got the humor to it. It's got, you know, it's got it all.
Yeah, it definitely does. I'm with you there, man. I'm gonna give it a. You know what? I don't want to go 4.5, and I kind of don't want to go 4. I'm kind of breaking me and Mike's score thing here. I might go 4.3.
Yeah. Well,
I really
okay
like
if
it.
you do that with me. I don't hold you to those rules.
Okay, so I'm gonna go 4.3. Like it really flowed, like even from the beginning where Mondo's in there and Mondo's like a crooked guy, he double crosses Megavolt. So you kind of like wondering, like at first, like, yo, is Megavolt the main villain here, or is it Mondo? And then Steelbeak pops up, Gizmo Duck shows up, we got Shush, it's F.O.W.L, Darkwing, you know, Darkwing's running away from Megavolt. Megavolt's so overpowered, it's funny. It's a lot of action. Like it never had a slow pace to me. Stan,
Nope.
you know, yeah, you know, 2 new characters, Pinjab and Mondo. I was really liking it, man. I liked it from beginning to end. It's a solid comic, man. It really is. Yeah, so I would give it a 4.3.
Awesome.
All
Should
right.
we rate Pinjab and Mondo or
You want to? Do you want to rate them?
sure?
All right, let's go for it. Let's go with Mondo first. What you gonna score Mondo?
I'd give Mondo a 3. I think if we had seen more of him, he might have gotten a better score, but we really only see him in that one part at the very beginning of the first issue and about partway through the second issue.
Yeah, he was only in like 2 or 3 frames in part 2.
Yeah, and he was more or less just there to get the story started.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 2. I know you gave him a 3, but I'm gonna give him a 2 because the potential was there. Like he had his office, and Megavolt went there to go see him, and he double crossed Megavolt, you know, and he was the one connected to Pinjab. and stole Pinjab's, machine and everything to with the plan of Megavolt taking over the world,
Yeah.
So the potential is definitely there for Mondo. So I would give him a 2. It's just that he was kind of flushed out with so much that happened, like you kind of forget about him.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Pinjab.
Pinjab, I'd give a 3.5 to. I think they did a little better with him. I actually kind of want to see more of him after this comic. I doubt they ever used him again, but I think he'd be a pretty cool recurring villain, especially maybe working on like all the villains' tech or stuff.
Okay.
Like he almost seems to me like an evil version of Q from James Bond.
With Pinjab, I'm gonna go 2.5. I'm gonna go 2.5 because I definitely felt he was a decent villain. He was very smart, obviously. His dialogue in there was well written, so obviously you could tell he's very articulate. The potential's there because of what he's capable of what his brains. So I will give him a 2.5, but he's kind of like Mondo. He didn't get flushed out because he was there to the end once he got there, but he came so late though. So that's where I kind of punish him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give Professor Pinjab a 2.5. But he just like Mondo, he definitely has potential because he was actually the brains of the operation that Steelbeak needed and Mondo. So that's where I'm gonna go with Pinjab's. I'm gonna give him a 3. All right. Okay, so Stan, I don't know what comic we're gonna do next. Me and you, I do want us to do another comic together. I know which one you have in mind. The problem I have with that one is we'll have to find another one and maybe put 2 together into one.
I think there's about 3 or 4 really small ones we could do pretty much all at once.
Okay, so we may do another comic one next. I'm gonna get with Mike and see if he has an idea of something he want to do next. But so stand by, Stan. We might get back to you. But Stan, for the people who are listening to us for the first time, where can they find us at? Do you know?
I'm not going to be as good about this as Mike would be, but I have a lot of them that I can remember. Let's see. Google, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Pandora, Facebook, YouTube. Did I already say Spotify?
I don't know. There's so many, man.
What we gotta do is we gotta write like a master list of them and just tape them in front of us so we can just read down the list.
All right. Shout outs. I don't know his name because I didn't look it up before we recorded this. So I'm going to shout him out twice. I'm going to give him his name drop on the next podcast episode we do. But the person who referred us this, What's the Problem? I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for referring this to us. And I had to reach out to Stan and say, hey, we need to review this one for an episode of the podcast. So appreciate it, man. And also to all the writers of all the comics, man, it gives us an extra something to do, Darkwing to read upon, and because after 91 episodes, really the comics is all only where you can fall back to,
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for What's the Problem. Thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully we'll have another episode for you guys next Monday. More than likely, it'll probably be another comic, but if not, I'm pretty sure Mike had an idea or something. All right, so everybody, thanks, Dan, for helping me out with this one, and everybody, stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous, y'all.
Good night, everyone.